I'm Dr. B with today's Hope Nugget. And today we're talking about this. Of course, my favorite subject is hope. And we're talking a specific message about hope. And I'm talking about this. Hope has a mouth. Oh my. I said hope has a mouth. That's the angle we're going to talk to you today about. And I want to first talk to you before we talk about how much hope has a mouth. I want to talk to you about three components, the three components of hope. Number one is simply this. What is hope? Let's first talk about what is hope. Hope is the belief that your future can be better than your past or your present situation, and that you have the power to make it so. That's the thing about hope. Hope is different from wishing. Wishing is having a desire for something, but no realistic means to make it happen. So if someone says, I wish I had $1 million, sounds real good. I do too, right? But there's no realistic means to make that happen. So we're just wishing. But hoping is different. Hope is that belief that your future can be better, your situation can be better, your life can improve, and maybe, you can have $1 million, and hey, this is how I'm gonna make it happen. So it's not that you can't have $1 million. Hope says, but I have to have a plan to get that $1 million, or whatever that goal may be. So hope always involves action. That's the thing that's about hope that you want to remember. And so when we talk about having hope, let's talk about those three components. The first component of hope is, number one, hope involves having a goal. Whenever you have hope, that means that you have a goal that you're working toward. For instance, someone who goes to school, we all have gone to school, elementary school, high school, right, college. Why do we go to school? Because we're hoping to get a degree. We're hoping to get a high school diploma. We're hoping. Why do we keep going further? Well, we're hoping to get a higher diploma called a degree. We're hoping to get, some people go further and they get a PhD. Why? Because they're hoping to improve even more of their, quote, lot in life, right? The higher you go, the more degrees you have, it gives you potential. It's not guaranteed, but it does give you potential of a higher earnings and more experiences and that kind of thing. But it's all about having hope. That's why we do it in the first place. So whatever your goal is, that's just one goal, the one example, but whatever the goal is, it's all about having hope. So hope means that you're going to take some action, okay? You set a goal, that's number one. Number two is that you're going to create a pathway. So in other words, not only do I have a goal, not only am I hoping for this to happen in my life, and I believe I can make my life better, but I have to have some kind of pathway. So a pathway, for instance, in getting a degree means, are you going to go back to, go start with a junior college, a 2-year school? Are you going to start with a 4-year school, a small university, a private university, a big school, what have you? It means that you create a pathway. A pathway simply means the route that you're going to take to get that goal accomplished. That's all that means. You gotta take some action. It just does not happen by osmosis. So there are some actionable steps that you take when you have hope. It means that you have a goal, and it means that you have a pathway to achieve something. You want to make your life better, no matter what it may be. You create those two things. And then number three is, not only do you need to have a goal, not only do you need to have a pathway when you're hoping for something, but you also have to have motivation. What is motivation? Motivation is the inner drive that you have. When you talk about having motivation, you're talking about your why. Your motivation is the why are you going to keep working toward this goal? Why are you going to stay on the course of the pathway that you chose? Why? It's the energy force, right, that gets you up. It is believing that there's a reason behind you working toward this goal. It's something that you want. Sometimes it could be an extrinsic, meaning something that you see. Maybe it's a house, maybe it's a degree, maybe it's a car, maybe it's building your bank account. Maybe it's so that you can invest in your future. So those are the kinds of motivational goals that are extrinsic, because that's something that you can see. But sometimes it's an intrinsic motivation, meaning You want to feel really good about yourself. You want to feel like you've accomplished something. You're motivated because you want to be an inspiration to your children, or maybe your grandchildren. So there's something on the inside that's driving you. So whatever it is, whether it's extrinsic or intrinsic, it means that you have that why behind taking the action. You gotta have why. You gotta always think about, why am I doing this work? Why do I keep getting up? Why do I keep showing up? Why do I keep putting effort into this? That's important. Those three are the components of having hope. So when you have hope, hope is the force that helps you stay the course. Did you hear that? Hope is always the force that helps you stay the course. No matter what you are dreaming of, believing for, or wanting to do, whether it's starting a business, starting a ministry, starting an organization, whether you want to, create some kind of program for children or senior citizens, whatever you want to do to improve not only your life, but to improve someone else's life, we need to always have something that we're working on. And that gives life meaning. It really does. It gives your life so much meaning when you know that you're working toward something. That's so important. And Romans 15:13 says this. It says, "May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace, so that you may abound with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit." And so we're talking about the Spirit of God on the inside of us that allows us to keep getting up and having that hope. And that hope keeps being a motivating force that keeps you moving toward whatever goal it is that you have set out or you feel led, to pursue. That's important. Now, as we close, I opened up this Hope Nugget by telling you that hope has a mouth. Yes, hope has a mouth. Hope has a big mouth. Hope is so powerful. Hope has a mouth. Hope says things like, no matter what happened yesterday, no matter what happened last week, I believe something good is coming. I believe something is gonna happen in my life that's gonna be a breakthrough. Hope says, I am expecting a breakthrough. Hope says, I believe I have that job. Hope says, I believe that I'm gonna get financed for my home. Hope says, I believe. See, hope always believes. Hope believes the best. Hope looks for the best. Come on. Hope is always speaking. Here's the thing. It's important to understand hope has a mouth and it's always speaking life. You'll never find hope speaking doubt. Hope never speaks negative. Hope never speaks fear. Hope never speaks worry. That's not the language of hope. No, the language of hope is always positive. It's always life-giving. It's always believing. It's always encouraging. And sometimes, because hope has a big mouth, hope has learned how to encourage itself. Come on. Hope makes you encourage yourself. That's what David did when his men, the Bible talks about that in 1 Samuel 30, when David's men all turned on him after they returned back from the war, and they were talking about stoning David. David had to encourage himself. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. That's what hope does. Hope is always saying, you know what? Hope is, I believe, the best encourager of oneself, right? Because hope is always saying, I can make it. I can overcome this. I'm not going to quit. I can't quit. I won't quit. Hope always has what I say in credit to MC Hammer. Hope has an MC Hammer spirit because hope is too legit to quit. Too legit to quit. Hey, hope has an expectation for something good, so hope is always speaking life. Hope is always encouraging. Hope always encourages not only itself, hope encourages others. Hope calls you to encourage other people and always give us a word to other people because we need it. The world is getting darker, I'm telling you. And so the darker the world is getting, hope has to speak louder. Hope, the mouth of hope is heard even louder. People are tuning in for words of hope and words of life and words of encouragement. So I hope you receive this word today, and I hope that it has encouraged you, come on, to use your mouth to speak hope, no matter what you see, no matter what you hear, hold on to hope. And in closing, I always like to say it like this: in a world full of darkness, remember this, in a world full of darkness, there's still a reason to have hope. So I want you to hold on to hope like a piece of rope until next time.